What's going on, everyone? My name's Captain Crush. Thank you for stopping by. I got a lot to go over today and not a lot of time to do it. I'm doing this video late at night because the rage that's consuming me right now from what I just witnessed on the so-called National Basketball Association was near hot garbage. If you're new to my channel, I normally do videos Monday through Friday, and I literally release them around 1 to 2 Central. Yesterday, 4-game slate, I didn't release a video. Why? Because I sat in this very chair and couldn't come up with anything that I felt confident enough in that was worth going on YouTube for. And wouldn't you know it, my gut read, my gut call to just stay away from it was right. Fortunately, I was able to go on a live stream later on in the day and able to find some W's and some values by taking unders on almost everybody. But other than that, it was a complete 0 for 7 day for me, I think. No, I think Jalen Williams covered even in that ridiculous, horrendous blowout. Jalen Williams respects coin and he covered. But everyone else, what happened to the Boston Celtics? My God in heaven, what happened? I've seen that maybe once or twice before where the coach just says nah and benches all the starters at half. I've seen that happen a few times, maybe twice, but to see it happen in a 3-point spread game is just ridiculous. So I'm doing this video late at night. I didn't have the video yesterday, but the fact is I cover PrizePicks, Sleeper, a lot of the other apps, but today we're going to cover PrizePicks exclusively because it is once again Flex Friday. Now, after that abysmal day, we got a lot of ground to make up. We got playoffs coming in the NFL for Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to try my best to get a video out for that because I do like the NFL, do love playoffs. I'm going to talk about at least 2 NFL today in this video, but maybe a full separate video for that. Now, what I'm going to do for this particular video is I'm going to attempt to explain to you guys how it doesn't matter. You can literally do everything right. You can have the right model. You can have the Vegas book odds correct, and you can still get a fat, crispy L. Absolutely. Like I said in the beginning, the rage is consuming me because it's just absolutely insane what's been happening, okay? And I'm going to get into all that. But for starters, I want to talk about Clint Capela, okay? 23.5 PRA. I'm going to just go ahead and show you where this site. I'm not going to go into promoting it, but the PRA here, as you can see, it's 24.5 on Pinnacle, 24.5 on DraftKings, 24.5 on MGM, 24.5 on Bovada, and PointsBet and Better, okay? Or whatever this poverty app over here. But the fact of the matter is this. We automatically know that Indiana and the Atlanta Hawks is the nut matchup on paper. We can go over here to Outlier Bet, we can go over here to games, and we can literally see the Pacers Hawks and look at this, okay? 252 point total and a 5.5 point spread. Now you may say, Cap, the spread's poverty, and I would say, yeah, you're absolutely right. The spread is poverty. But after what I saw today, I'm done with trying to look at spread. It's over with. But the fact is, the over/under totals are still interesting. So 252 point total, you can automatically know Pacers Hawks game stack potential, okay? Houston Rockets and the Detroit Pistons, 226. Look at the difference, 25 points, and that's an even more abysmal spread. We got a decent game down here with the Sixers Kings, which I'll talk about, and the rest of these I'm probably not even going to go into. If you are interested in this very app here that helps you with a lot of data, it is called Outlier Bet. I'm going to use it to show some things today. Like you can see right here what it does. My man, Clint Capela, it gives you the baseline. It gives you a little bit of the Vegas information. It'll tell you the teams allowed, their points allowed, rebounds allowed, assists allowed, etc. In the pro version, you can take people on and off the court, show only home games, etc. But here's the deal, okay? What I'm really showing you this for is not to just plug it, but if you do use code CRUSH, they'll give you a free 37 days. But just because it's a nice, convenient way to track the last 5, 10, 20, the head-to-head stats, and it gives you some insight. But here's this is why I'm really showing you guys this stuff. Because like I said in the beginning, it doesn't matter if you have all the right reads. No one's going to be able to tell you that taking Clint Capela over PRA tomorrow is a bad play. In fact, it's probably going to be super popular. If not his PRA, just his rebounds or just his points, I'm telling you right now, someone on Twitter is going to be talking about it. If not everybody, all the so-called cappers are going to talk about it because it's a good play, okay? Indiana plays no defense, neither do the Hawks. It's an insane point total. It's just the nut matchup. I mean, it doesn't matter, okay? So then you factor in the equation that the PRA over here is 24.5 on Pinnacle and the over is still juiced. You're getting a full point value on PrizePicks. You know that they're going to move this line to 24.5. So you put all those things together better. And then I don't even need to open my projection model, and I'm not going to here. If you want that, you got to be in the Discord. But the fact is Clint Capela is going to be in a great spot. So the read is sound. That's it. I'm telling you this because you can do all of these things and still lose, okay? That's just the reality of it. And if new to gambling, especially this form of gambling, like if you're just a casino goer and you go there all the time and you're trying to start sports betting and you think, oh, I see screenshots of people winning millions on Twitter and everything. Let me get that out of your head right now. Let me just keep it 100. It's a hobby. You're going to have to invest money in it just like you would any other hobby, like golf, those of us that are addicted to golf. And there's a huge learning curve, and you're going to have to lose money before you make money, and that's just how it is. But I want to emphasize, you can do everything right and still get an L. So if you're here just to try to get spoon-fed picks and you don't care about all that, miss me, because I'm not your guy, all right? I'm here trying to help the people that are actually interested in becoming better and actually trying to figure out how this goes. And I'm going to give you a tinfoil hat story, so stay tuned. Now, you know that if you're new here or not, you know that I love the 1v1 run back. I should say if you're an old school craft person of this channel, been following me since day one, so you know I'm going to want someone on the other side to run that back with, okay? Now, you can go with Bruce Brown, you could go with Turner, Jalen Smith, Naismith, Mathurin. By the way, Mathurin hooked the other day. Or you could just go with none of them. But I prefer Bruce Brown. Like you can go right here and you can see Bruce Brown's PRA over 20.5. It's 21.5 on every other book. So you know that it's going to move to 21.5 tomorrow. So you got to get it in tonight, which is another reason why I'm doing this video. It's a good play because the other side of this coin, he's in that same matchup. Tyrese Halliburton is out. And as you can see right here, this is why I like Outlier. Like I said, you can filter it out to games without Tyrese Halliburton. Bang! And you can literally see games without. January 10th, he just played 31, 12-16, 24, 12-2, 36. Clearly, when Tyrese Halliburton's off the floor, Bruce Brown has a chance to excel. Now, look at all the green beans that are over here facing the Atlanta Hawks. Points allowed, 29. Rebounds allowed, 20th. Assists allowed, 29th. They're literally dead last in pretty much everything because they're totally poverty when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. And you know what? Speaking of defense, I'm sick of these young generation kids thinking that they see basketball. The basketball in this generation is hot garbage. There's no defense being played. It's absolutely absurd that teams can be down 30 or 40 points at half. It has to stop. It has to change. And I don't know what the solution is. I really don't. I mean, I have a few ideas, but defense needs to be played or something has to change because this can't continue. There's just no way you can have a product where games are just blowouts every other day. In the in-season tournament, things were looking crispy. Maybe you need to have a tournament every 3 weeks or something. I really don't know, okay? I have ideas for the solution, but I'm not getting paid for that. That's above my pay grade, and I just thought I would mention it. It needs to be adjusted, okay? So let's get back to PrizePicks. If you can't tell, I'm usually a happy-go-lucky guy, but I'm fired up right now. I'm fired up, and it could just be the heat that's blowing on me because of a freaking snowstorm outside, but it's probably just the rage that's in my veins from what I just witnessed. I'm telling you, folks, I never got more frustrated. And it's not about the fact that I lost. I couldn't care less about that. The fact is that what is going on here in sports has to change. Specifically, this sport that I love, NBA. It comes from a place of love. When you love something and they're tarnishing it, you love it enough to want it to change, and that's what needs to be done. So anyways, for those of you that are just here to talk about PrizePicks because your intellect can't grasp any other thought, I do apologize. But for the rest of you, I hope you can relate, all right? So these two guys right here, I made my case. You know they're going to get bumped up. If you're not interested in Capela, you can go to DeJounte Murray's points or his points rebounds. Same thing with Jalen Johnson. Trae Young's always in the mix. And in fact, if they put on Trae Young's, let me see if they have it up here. Turnovers. Yep, they do. I've been taking this proposition every day. He sold on the third day right here against Indiana the last time he played, which is he's in this matchup again. But guess what? I'm going right back to it. I don't care. Trae Young can't hold the ball. And once again, it's a fast-paced matchup. So I do want exposure to that. Whenever the pace is going to be fast on both sides, I want to target guys that have high usage rates, which is going to be Trae Young. He's going to get opportunities to turn it over. Is he going to get 5 turnovers? Probably not. Honestly, probably not, because it's ridiculous. But I will ride this train till I'm forced off, so it's in the mix. And obviously, whenever you see Trae Young at 29.5 points, you know he can drop 50 anytime. So you have to consider someone like Trae Young, okay? Now, I made my case for those guys. Now, the next guy that I'm going to talk about is Kobe White, the wagon. Yes, sir. Even with Zach LaVine back in the mix, Kobe White's been getting it done. We're seeing a Kobe White resurgence. 30 against Houston, who's top 2 defense in the league in points allowed. Number 1 is the Wolves. Number 2 was Houston in the West. Charlotte 27, Charlotte 22, New York Knicks 26. The Warriors are complete utter mess right now. I'm not concerned. I'm not worried. I am a little bit concerned that Zach LaVine is back in the mix, but he did just play with Zach LaVine and he still got it done. We're seeing the resurgence of Kobe White. He found out of his slump. Or you can go right here to his deflated 31.5 PRA. He's not a core play by any means because the value just isn't there as far as across the books, but you better believe that the Kobe White man is in the mix, okay? And you can always just go to his RA or whatever his fantasy score is whenever they post that, okay? So don't forget about Kobe White. Now, the next guy I'm going to talk about is Keegan Murray, who's also in a pretty good matchup. We can go right over here, right back to Outlier, and we can see 242.5 point total. That is an extremely high total as well. And this spread is juicy, so you can literally get Keegan and Tyrese as a 1v1 run back, which I 100% did. Now, wrap your little minds around this, because De'Aaron Fox has been trending down and Keegan Murray has been trending up. Now, I've heard people say there's no correlation in NBA, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because there's correlation in every sport, especially NBA, period. If anyone's telling you that, unfollow them. But the fact is that he's been trending up. So 24.5 PRA, listen, 34-39, 9 against the Pellies, 31-41. By the way, Orlando and Toronto, slow-paced, tough matchups, and he got it done. And 34-39 over here, you better believe against the Philadelphia Sixers in a 242.5 point total, I'm taking a shot at Keegan Murray's 24.5 PRA, and I've been taking him, and I'm following and riding the train. And it's this simple. If he sells, he sells. I will take this and ride that train because it's been cashing me, okay? Or you can just go over here to his points, or even his 2.5 3-point made, or his fantasy score, which I took the other day at, I think, 26, and he dropped a 40 bomb. But it's not on the board yet, and neither is Clarkson. And speaking of Clarkson, I almost called him Kelly Clarkson. But if Clarkson comes on here tomorrow and you see his fantasy score or points, just take it. He's coming off the bench, but he's playing starters minutes, and he's literally just been dominating. I'm just going to throw that out there. I don't know why they have Lauri Markkanen, Sexton, and everyone else on here, but they don't have old Clarkson. Maybe he's questionable. I don't know. But as speaking as well, Lauri Markkanen and John Collins are 100% in play against Toronto tomorrow. Lauri Markkanen's RA or his fantasy score would be ideal. Now, I'm getting ahead of myself because I still want to talk about this Philly game. If you want to run back from the other side, you can literally go with Tyrese Maxey, okay? If that game stays close, because it is a 1-point spread, his 42.5 PRA is 100% in play, okay? It's a high number for Maxey, but the matchup is solid. When Joel Embiid's off the court, Maxey shows up. Hopefully, he shows up one more time tomorrow. He plays big minutes, whether it's a blowout or not. He plays like 37, 38 minutes, and that is something to always be considered. So just like I preach in my Discord, and just like I preached on the TikTok days, if you take 5 to 6 legs, you need to take that 5 and 6 legs and break it down into 2-man. So Clint and Bruce would be your 2-man. Then you could do Clint and Kobe, or Bruce and Kobe, and then you could do Keegan Murray and Kobe, or Keegan and Bruce Brown. You get what I'm saying? It's ABC, and you just go down the list. That way, if the 6-man sells and you get 4 of 6, you can still make a profit on the day, because when you get 4 of 6 right, you need to be making a profit, because it's extremely hard to get 4 out of 6 right, okay? Especially on a daily basis. Just think about it. That's over 50% win rate out of, if you pick 6 plays and get 4 right, you're winning over 50% of your plays. You need to be getting a profit from it, and the only way to do that is by mixing and matching smaller slips, in addition to the long shot 25x lottery ticket that you take, okay? Now, let me just tell you guys real quick. For the past 5 days now, no, 4 days, 5 days, whatever, there's been a ton of stat corrections, whether you're on the right side of it or the wrong side of it. Usually I'm on the wrong side of it. And there's also been a lot of 0.1 and 0.2 hooks, people losing by thin margins. If you haven't figured it out yet, or there was any doubt in your mind, these lines that put out by PrizePicks, Sleeper, and every other book are surgical. They make the lines perfectly. There's no doubt about it. Stop thinking that you know more than the lines makers. You don't. And when I see people say that in PrizePicks Discord and whatnot, you literally make me laugh, and I usually just block you instantly because you're just so far behind in the race, you're never going to understand any of this. So the fact is, the lines are surgical put down, which means they're always going to be close. So when you can see something like this and get 1 point value, that's all you need to know, okay? The line has everything baked into it already, which means the last 5, the last 10, the matchup, the pace of play, all that stuff is baked into the lines. So find value and do that, and you will be better off than not. But here's the deal, folks. ESPN is now allowing sports betting. They're taking bets. PrizePicks and most other books use ESPN as their stat maker to settle their tickets, meaning whatever the stat is on ESPN is what everyone else settles their tickets as. So if ESPN says somebody has 4 assists, then PrizePicks will say he had 4 assists. That's what it is, all right? And now, like I just told you, ESPN is taking in bets. Betting is a billion-dollar industry. Are you following me? So now there is a clear conflict of interest here, and more people need to be discussing this on a federal level, whatever state level, I don't care. But it's absolutely absurd that ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, folks, this isn't, you can't make this up. You can't script this. The worldwide leader in sports is literally accepting bets, has a betting division, and is now responsible for promoting sports, touting sports, and tracking sports. You cannot tell me that they're not incentivized to manipulate stats based on that fact. It's just, you can't, it's whether they're doing it or not isn't relevant. The fact is, it's a conflict of interest. It shouldn't be happening. I don't know how it's happening, and it's absurd that we've got to this point in this country, or global, I'm sure it's global, and that people just, oh, whatever, dude, it doesn't affect me. It does affect you. Think about it. Think critically. I'm begging you, okay? I'm not accusing them of anything. I'm not saying anything, but I will say this. The stat corrections lately have been way more prevalent. It's happening every night now. Every night where there's a stat discrepancy. Now, some of you will dismiss it and say, well, that's anecdotal data. It's only happened 4 or 5 days straight. But I'm telling you that if you do this every single day, you run into stat corrections in your individual slip maybe once every 2 to 3 weeks. But it's been happening every single day. And again, I'm not suggesting malfeasance here, folks. I'm not doing that. I'm just telling you it needs to be transparent. When you have a $1 billion industry in sports betting, it needs to be transparent, especially if you're going to be attracting new people, and especially if you want people like me, content creators, to keep creating content to help the new people to continue the economy. Do you dig what I am saying here? Okay, I am putting down truth and knowledge for you guys, and you need to think about this stuff. I'm not sitting here saying it's rigged or anything like that, because if you honestly believe that it's rigged and you're betting on it, then how stupid are you, realistically? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying let's have an open conversation and keep things transparent, and let's get rid of the conflict of interest. That's all that I'm saying, guys. Let's keep things above board. Remember when I say this, it's a $1 billion industry. You can't comprehend how big of a number that. I know people throw the word billion around because it's a hot word in politics, but it's a huge number, okay? I'm not going to give the analogy that I usually give, but just, you know what? I will say it. If you started counting to 1 billion right now, you wouldn't live long enough to get to the end. Just figure that out, okay? Think about that. Now, I'm going to step off my soapbox for a second because I've been a serious tone all video long, and usually I'm light and go lucky, and everybody knows that, but like I said, there's just, what I witnessed tonight in the NBA just wasn't it, Chief. It's not hitting. Whatever I saw tonight, it wasn't hitting. And we're not even talking about gambling aside. I'm talking about the product as a whole. Talked about these 4 men here, 3 men, Keegan Murray and Maxey as well. All right. I made my case with the values. I showed you some of the stats from Outlier. There's going to be a ton of games tomorrow, 8 games to be exact. Now I'm going to go talk about NFL. I do have a lot more of NBA stuff that I like, but you will have to be in the live stream tomorrow, which you can go to captaincrush.net. You can get in the gold package right here, and that is where you can get your ticket into my live stream, which I do every day, whether I do a YouTube video or not, at 4:30 to 4:45. We were lucky enough, my God in heaven, myself included, thank Christ, that we were able to make at least 1 or 2 winning slips from that live stream. Otherwise, it would have just been a chalk day overall, because I'm pretty sure the 6 plays that I put out as a whole, like in a list format, I'm pretty sure they all chalked but Jalen Williams, because Tatum, Middleton, Lillard, LeBron James, blowout, 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 Simon, blowout, all the blowout, okay? That's just how it went. So what I also do for you in there is do a projection sheet like this every single day where you will have the name of the player, the fantasy point projection, points, rebounds, assists, steal, blocks, turnover right there, highlighted nice and neat for you. You can zoom in on it, and that is every single day for NBA and NFL. Now, speaking of NFL, let's get into this because I have a great feeling about NFL. I know we had a serious tone early on, but now we got to get into the jip and jive of things and talk about the old NFL because it's got me fired up for all the right reasons. It's playoff NFL, baby. It doesn't get any better than that. Trust. Now, what are we going to do here? Well, they had a crazy lineup here, a demon line with Joe Flacco 1.5 passing touchdowns, and it's since been removed. You hate to see it. Luckily, I got it in one or slip, but it was a demon payout for 1.5 pass TDs. If it comes back, grab it. Now, what I'm going to tell you to do since it's not here is just take his 272.5 passing yards, go more. If you say, Cap, I want to go conservative, I'm not convinced Joe Flacco is going to hold up in the playoffs versus Houston, just give me the Goblin, you can go there. Both of these are 100% in play, and then you go right over here to the man, the myth, the legend, the man whose career was single-handedly saved by Joseph Flacco, Amari Cooper. 76.5 receiving yards. There's your correlated pair. You pair them up, you get them in the mix, and you ask questions later and hope it hits. Now, remember I talked about Outlier Bet. Now, they do have good NBA, but look at what they have for NFL. This is crispy. It tells you Cleveland's pass versus run rate. They have pass 56% of the time. They run 44% of the time. It shows you the target share for each individual player. Amari Cooper right here, obviously dominating. And also my brothers in Christ, David Njoku, 123 targets. These are your top two guys. And honestly, you can literally pair it with either or. It'll give you all the matchup breakdowns over here on the right. It's literally crispy. It's everything you need to know. I'm not going to go into how to use all of this stuff. I will be doing that on a live stream in their Discord server at some point, but it's worth mentioning, folks, okay? You can use promo code CRUSH and get your 30-day free trial, but if you want to pair Njoku in here in the mix as well, you absolutely can. And you can even take his Goblin if you'd like, or just take the regular line, or you can take Dealer's Choice, which is my favorite, which is his fantasy score, because he does have touchdown equity and he does have a lot of catch equity. Every time he catches that ball, bang, it's going to be a point. I think I got this at 12 just a little bit ago. I could be hallucinating because it's late and I'm tired. But either way, 13, 12, 15, 20, it doesn't matter. Njoku's covering. He's crushing this Sunday or Saturday, whatever have you. Now, I would be cautious about taking all three of them in without anyone from Houston on the run back. Maybe shoehorn in Collins. If you want to take out Njoku or if you want to take out Cooper, definitely take both of those guys. They are in the mix. The last one I'm going to talk about for this particular video is none other than CeeDee Lamb. It's a plug play. 21 fantasy points for CeeDee Lamb. You know he has 50-point upside. Don't look at anything. Don't look at the last 5. Don't research anything. Just know that Captain Crush said 21 fantasy points for CeeDee Lamb against the Packers is 100% in play, and that's all you got to know. I will try to make another video on the NFL before Saturday. Maybe I'll do an NFL video tomorrow since this video is already going to be live. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll talk about it in the live stream because that's where I do my best work, folks. I can interact with you guys, and it's a great thing for everybody. So if you stuck around this long, God bless you, and I appreciate you sticking around, guys. Remember, you can get in the Discord projection sheet, list plays, and the live streams, CaptainCrush.net. I appreciate you coming by. Sorry the video had a serious tone, and sorry that I missed a video yesterday, but the fact is, yesterday was poverty, and I should have listened to my gut and faded the whole slate, and not just YouTube. I should have faded it all for everyone, Discord included. But at least we did grind out a little bit of a W. My friends, I hope I gave you something to think about. If you did, smash the like button, hit the subscribe if you want more Crush. I appreciate each and every one of you. Here's salute as always, and my brothers and sisters in Christ, good luck in all your contests, and let's crush.